You ever catch yourself chasing the crowd? Feels smart at first. Everyone's got a story or a tip they swear by. But walk into any gun shop in February 2026, look down the firing line, and you'll see the same thing. These 7 handguns popping up everywhere, even in the hands of folks who swore they'd never follow the pack. I've done it myself. Thought I was smarter, only to end up with the same pistol a dozen others just bought that week. Hype almost never lines up with what actually sticks. But right now, in February 2026, these 7 models are landing in more hands than anything else. And not just for the reasons you hear online. This isn't about specs or flash. Stick around for the surprises, the controversies, and the pick that even made the skeptics back down. Skip ahead, and you'll miss what's actually changing the game this month. These days in 2026, the CZ Shadow 2 carry hasn't just slipped into my daily rotation. No fanfare, just cold steel on my belt. Filling a slot I never gave much thought to. It wasn't the gun I bragged about or showed off at the counter. That night at the gas station, I barely noticed the car idling at the far pump, or the odd way the clerk glanced up when the door chimed behind me. One of those Texas evenings where the air felt thick, a little too quiet for comfort. I'd planned to run my usual carry, but when my backup pistol caught on the holster and it felt wrong in my grip, I froze. Pulse hammering, instincts screaming that now wasn't the time for second guessing. Without thinking, my hand settled on the Shadow 2 carry. Clean draw, trigger breaking smooth, all doubt gone in an instant. Nothing happened, just a stranger filling up and a silent ride home. But every detail stuck with me. The pistol didn't save the day with drama or flash. It just did its job when my nerves needed it most. After that, the Shadow 2 carry never left my side. Some guns earn their keep in ways you don't talk about until you have to. Last month, I found myself arguing at one of the oldest ranges in Austin. Voices bouncing off cinderblock walls as the regulars tore into each other about carry guns. It was the same old split. Half the group claimed the Hellcat Pro was nothing but internet hype. The other half swore it was outselling everything for a reason, especially this February. I stood my ground, poked fun at the trend, said I'd take my usual over whatever bandwagon the crowd was riding. Didn't take long before someone called me out. Put your money where your mouth is. Side-by-side drills, lunch on the line, whole crowd watching. My old favorite started strong, but halfway through, the Hellcat Pro just ran cleaner. Faster splits, tighter groups, never missed a beat. I caught myself getting quiet while the others started grinning. By the end, I was reaching for my wallet, and all the old pride had burned off. The truth was plain. In February 2026, the crowd wasn't fooled. The Hellcat Pro was winning because it earned it. Sometimes the hardest lesson comes in front of everyone, and you just nod, shake hands, and finally respect what's real. Months ago, I figured I was done with the Glock 19 Gen 5. Traded it off for a shiny new import. Looked better, cost more, promised everything Glock fans claim to be missing. I told myself I'd never look back. Then came the first crowded Saturday at the range. The new pistol felt stiff, trigger gritty, and halfway through a simple drill, it locked up hard in front of everyone. Nothing like public embarrassment to turn confidence into regret. I tried to fix it, cleared the jam, switched mags, but the doubt never left. Next thing I know, my old buddy slides my Glock 19 Gen 5 back across the bench, half smirking. I loaded up, fired 200 rounds without a hiccup. Sweat running, hands shaking, and every shot felt like settling back into a pair of broken-in boots. Suddenly, I understood why these Glocks still fill holsters everywhere, no matter what year stamped on the calendar. But the pistol that taught me the real meaning of compact done right, that one changed my carry lineup in ways I never saw coming. For months, the S&W M&P9 2.0 compact rode along for the dullest parts of life. Early drives to work, late night runs for milk, the usual shuffle that barely registers. No drama, no bragging rights, just solid weight on my hip and a trigger I never second-guessed. At first, it felt like nothing special. Just another tool in the daily rotation, easy to forget, never a headline. But week after week, that pistol kept clocking in and doing its job. Never jammed, never fussed. I'd see it show up more at the range. Guys you'd never expect quietly switching over, holsters worn in the same spot, nods passed between folks who'd seen enough fads come and go. It took me a while to catch on. Sometimes the real vote of confidence is how many people settle in and stop talking. That's when it hit. Boring as a compliment. The M&P9 2.0 Compact earned its place without a single dramatic moment. But if you think trust is built slow, the next pick earned its following in a whole different way. One hard fight at a time. Since New Year, the club flipped everything upside down. A new head stepped in, brought fresh liability policies, and overnight, every personal pistol was out for official drills. From now on, FN 509 tactical only, they said. The old regulars weren't quiet about it, grumbling at the bench, shooting sharp looks at the range officers, some even threatening to pack up and leave. But if you wanted to shoot, you followed the rules. I walked in with more resentment than curiosity. I'd spent years dialing in my own setup and didn't want anything to do with a committee pick. First session, I strapped on the FN 509 Tactical, expecting the worst. It felt unfamiliar, bulkier, heavier, trigger different than what I trusted. But once the drills started, something changed. The gun ran smooth, handled every mag change without complaint, and grouped tighter than I expected, even when I pushed the pace. No jams, no malfunctions, nothing to give me an excuse. Midway through, I glanced down the line. Everyone, even the diehards, had settled in. No more resistance, just the sound of work getting done. The FN 509 Tactical wasn't anyone's first choice, but it earned its place by showing up and performing, no matter how we all felt about it. Walk into any gun shop in Texas this year, and the same story plays out. Ruger RXMs flying off the shelves, staff barely able to keep up, and folks lining up before the doors even open. It's not hype, and it's not loyalty. It's pure demand. 1 minute the case is full, the next, empty. Nobody stops to ask for long-winded reviews or wait for some old-timer's blessing. People are buying them because they're there, because missing out seems worse than settling. I'll admit it, when I saw that last RXM sitting in the case, I felt the urge hit too. Didn't need another pistol, didn't even have a strong opinion about Ruger. But with everything else marked up, out of stock, or bogged down by wait lists, the RXM looked like the smartest move in the room. Price was right, grip felt fine, and when I ran it, it just worked. Truth is, it's not the legend on the wall. It's the gun everyone can actually walk out with. No drama, no waiting. But the last gun on this list, that one's been breaking all the rules, earning its spot in a way nobody's comfortable admitting. See, the Beretta 92 FS wasn't anybody's dream pick. Not for years. Too big, too heavy. Old school controls that feel stuck in the last century. I used to rib guys for hauling one around. Swore I'd never bother with a pistol that looked like it belonged in some 1990s cop show. But somehow, that's the one gun that never left the rotation. Ask around, and it's the same story. Some folks pick theirs up on a deal. Some inherited one. Others just found it tossed in with a batch of old police trade-ins. I tried to sell mine off more than once. Every time I thought about thinning the herd, the Beretta never quite made it to the for sale pile. Maybe because when ammo got scarce or something newer let me down, the 92 FS always ran. Never jammed, never quit. No matter how much I neglected it, it isn't the pistol anyone's bragging about on forums. But there's a reason you keep finding them in glove boxes, nightstands, and range bags across Texas. In the end, the Beretta 92 FS isn't about nostalgia or pride, it's about survival. The last one standing when all the others are gone. So, following the crowd has never guaranteed a win. But this list for February 2026 didn't fill itself by accident. Every gun here earned its place, for a reason I didn't see coming. Some felt like finally getting it right. Others landed like a punch in the gut, forcing me to admit what I'd been ignoring. By the time these pistols started taking over in shops and ranges this month, most folks barely noticed the shift. Suddenly, the old reliables were gathering dust, and every new face was running with the same picks. Now I want to know, right here in February 2026, which gun did you grab thinking it was just hype, only to find out the crowd actually got it right? Or maybe you've got a sleeper the herd missed. Drop it below. I'm Steve, and if your pick's better, let's see you prove it.